that there should be peace, tranquility before, during, and after the presidential elections come October 2025. These at the same time where a group of guys specialized in the theft of fake documents, or rather specialized in fake documents and fake stamps, have been extorting money illegally from Cameroonians. The guys who use stamps of ministers as well as delegates, governors, were nabbed by a special force that was placed in the center region, precisely in Yaoundé, in the country's political capital. In today's edition of the program, we shall be giving you the exclusive voice of the governor of the Southwest region, Bernardo Calabilai, plus the youth president who led the youth in Boya to go condemn the brigade anti-Sadina who attacked the Minister of Youth Affairs, Monuna Spotso, and the ambassador. Plus, we shall be taking you over to Yaoundé to listen to some parliamentarians at the opening of the March session for 2025 that started on the 11th of March 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Home News Roundup live on Home TV, the People's Television. I'm Prince Mukage. Joelin Douala, Cameroon, thank you immensely for staying with us. We are blessed that you joined us in this week's edition of the program Home News Roundup live on Home TV. Of course, you made the right and the best decision. Keep staying on different programs on this channel. Of course, you can follow this program live on Facebook. All you need to do is tap Home TV on Facebook as well as on YouTube, Home TV Cameroon. There is a number that will be displayed on your TV screens that you can call us and give your different contributions as well as send us text messages. Of course, like we did announce in some of our lead stories for this week, a group of guys in Boya, just like in Bamenda, in Yaoundé and Marwa, have marched in the city of Bamenda, Boya, Yaoundé and Marwa. According to the group of guys, they are demanding the #1 man of the country, President Paul Biya, to sanction a group of guys based in the United States of America and other parts of the Western world. The group of guys, ladies and gentlemen, are calling on President Paul Biya to sanction a group of guys known as Brigade Anti-Sadina who attacked the Minister of Youth Affairs, Monuna Photo. And of course, we're taking you over to Boya, like you can see in those images, where a group of youths in the Southwest region, precisely in Boya, moved to the governor's office where they met Bernardo Calabilai. He is the governor of the Southwest region, and this is what he told the youths in Boya.
I present here as to started from over there.
Is there already live?
So you are right. And the reassure the local authority and the entire authorities I present here as
that is Governor Bernardo Calabilai, governor of the Southwest region, reassuring the youth of Boya that they should be confident that their complaints have not fallen on deaf ears. Of course, it's expected that in the days ahead, the government of Cameroon is going to do something about this group of guys who attacked a minister in Belgium, precisely in headquarters of Belgium, that's in Brussels. Away from that, let's take you over to Boya, precisely in Yaoundé, precisely in a neighborhood in Yaoundé where a group of guys specialize in fake stamps and fake documents have been nabbed by elements of the forces of law and order. This group of guys have been specialized in faking stamps and documents of ministers, governors, delegates as well as directors. They were nabbed by the special force that went out for them. Of course, at the end of the event, our correspondent in Yaoundé caught up with the commissioner who was in charge of this operation, and this is what he had to tell Home TV.
Depuis le lancement du dernier concours de la police, nous sommes tombés par vigilance justement sur de nombreux cas de faux timbres fiscaux. notamment timbre à encre. Et pour mieux être outillés, nous avons dû, lors du précédent concours, faire une requête auprès des autorités fiscales et des timbres pour connaître effectivement les différentes qualités d'un timbre authentique. Et cette réquisition nous a permis d'avoir toutes ces qualités, discerner le vrai du faux. C'est ainsi que tout récemment, nous avons eu le cas d'une dame qui devait renouveler son passeport. Et comme le font la plupart des responsables, elle a commissionné un de ses hommes de main du quartier Mendon qui est venu ici avec des documents personnels, justement avec de faux timbres. Nous avons interpellé le porteur de ces documents, à savoir le nommé Ojongobi Akbor, Lucien, âgé de 29 ans, originaire du sud-ouest, notamment de la Mayu Division. Ojong nous a fait savoir que ce n'est pas lui qui a timbré les documents, mais qu'il a un partenaire habituel qui a justement un secrétariat et qui très souvent lui facilite la tâche en matière de timbre et tout autre document. Nous avons mis la main sur notamment le nommé Adibé Udo Kama Obona Soni, le Nigérien en question, âgé de 30 ans, employé dans ce secrétariat, qui a fini par avouer qu'effectivement, il contrefait les timbres tant à travers son ordinateur qu'avec un cachet, et qu'il vend ces timbres à 500 francs la pièce à ses différents clients, qui eux vont justement les revendre à 1500 francs. Alors c'est ainsi que nous avons démantelé.
Operated was the head of that operation that led to the arrest of these guys of the underworld that have been sucking Cameroonians of their hard-earned income with fake stamps and fake documents. Away from that, ladies and gentlemen, we stay in Yaoundé to see that the March session for the National Assembly and the Senate kicked its doors open on the 11th of March 2025 at the National Assembly. The eldest member of the National Assembly, Madame Nkowa Mvege Laurentine, called on Cameroonians, political parties as well as members of the opposition party to ensure that there should be peace before, during and after the presidential elections. Of course, as you can see, that was the opening session at the National Assembly. We want to appreciate very much the man who is in charge of communication at the National Assembly, Mr. Ekeman, who sent us all these images right away from Yaoundé, live from the National Assembly. At the end of the opening session that took place in Yaoundé, the man in charge of communication at the National Assembly spoke with two parliamentarians at the opening session, and this is what they had to tell reporters in Yaoundé.
By the eldest member, she has talking about election. So, how do you feel about that speech, and what do you say?
Okay, from what our elder in assembly have just said, I would like to relate everyone in Cameroon, everybody in Cameroon, even the people who are organizing election, that they should organize election in a peaceful way, because we the parliamentarian, we don't expect war again in Cameroon. They should try to organize in a way that everybody will be satisfied and the way that will not create problem in Cameroon.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what caught the attention of the news desk of Home TV. Of course, the panel is ready, and it's time we begin discussions for today. Our first topic for today is decision making. Of what relevance is the National Assembly and the Senate. Of course, we want to remind Cameroonians that the March session of the National Assembly fronted doors open on the 11th of March 2025 at the lower and upper houses. Parliamentarians and senators all answered present, while at the upper house that held at the Economic and Social Council building, the president of the Senate, Marsenyat Njifenji, answered present. The question we're asking, of what importance is the Senate and the National Assembly in decision making. That is topic 1. And of course, topic 2, we shall be looking at 2025 presidentials. Are opposition candidates doing enough to woo voters? That is our focus for today. Like I did say, ladies and gentlemen, you can go watch the program live on Facebook, on Home TV, or you go on YouTube and you're going to watch the program on YouTube, on Home TV Cameroon. The numbers that are on your screen, feel free to call live wherever you're watching or send us text messages. We're in the company of a very beautiful damsel who is a presidential candidate, and of course in the company of 2 other gentlemen. I'm going to start with the lady who is with us today. Her name is Madam Carol Mbakop. She is an independent candidate for the presidential elections 2025. Thank you immensely, Madam, for taking our time from your very extremely busy schedule to be part of our program, and we must tell our viewers that you traveled all the way from Yaoundé to come be our guest today.
Thank you, Prince, for receiving me. I want to greet all my co-panelists, and I want to appreciate all Cameroonians that are eager to write history this period. I want to bless all of you because the mother can bless, you know. Cameroon this time around is a country that's going through a lot of shakings, a lot of scandals, and a lot of contradiction, and that youths are standing like the hope to be able to address situation very coldly. When I say coldly, it means that you have fresh, you have the age, you have the capacity to do what some of us cannot do. So my prayer and my advice to you is that don't fall into something you will not be able to justify, because this time around we are working hand to hand with you and with our parents to make sure Cameroon is safe.
All right.
I hope that's what we are doing Home TV.
That's what we're trying to want to encourage the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Home TV and Genoa Group, that is his healer, Dr. Richard Fu, for a marvelous job they are doing, and to the entire team. Now, we saw youth in Boya march. They are saying that a group of guys in Belgium, Brussels, attacked the Minister of Youth Affairs. They marched in Boya. We saw them go to the governor's office. They also marched in Bamenda. They marched in Marwa. And they marched in Yaoundé. In the days ahead, they are supposed to march in all the 10 regions of the country. When you look at youth marching to say that the minister was tortured, do you think that it was genuine, or someone somewhere was manipulating these youths?
Okay, thank you for the question. Like I said, youths are the hope of this nation, so they should be careful of every action they take. Why is it that? It's just because the minister has been harassed that youths are marching. We've seen a lot of injustice in our nation. Why is it that it's a toll in the nation? As if it's true, the minister was hurt. We're not saying anything contrary about that. It is true that it's not correct, it's unconstitutional to even tolerate such an action. But what is more bitter and more, and more horrible, let me state it that way, is to see youths standing to march for a man that had bodyguards. Okay, he has bodyguards, so it's not as if the man was harassed in his house, and like Cameroonians are being harassed in their houses, girls are being raped, our youths are being beaten and killed, the body dropped. Lately we saw 11 people that were dead in the road coming from Yaoundé to Douala. 11 skeletons and 4 corpses. Nobody marched for it, okay? Women are being raped, breast cut, private part exposed. Nobody marched for it. So I want to say that whoever is behind the youths doing such a thing should be very, very careful. And youths...
You think that the youths were manipulated?
They were manipulated because it makes no sense. Because if at all, they were not manipulated and they stood up to do such thing, meaning everything that is happening in the country, they're happy for it. They're clapping for it. They shouldn't complain. But I'm strongly convinced that these are a corpse of youths that cannot stand for all the youth in Cameroon, okay? I know youths are ready to stand out to claim their liberty, but we are just encouraging them that we are not going to claim our liberty on roads. Okay. We are going to claim our liberty on the vote with our electoral cards. But this should stop. Any minister, any governor that has tolerated this is a prisoner, is a criminal, because these are the kind of things that we need to step out.
Bilai went...
No. This is a crime. to pay youth, because those guys were paid.
You
Even
think
the
they were
youth,
paid?
yeah, they were paid. The guy that stood up to say we don't tolerate that shit, I expected him to step out and march for the young people that were killed and dump into a bush. Okay, I expected him to step out and tell the governors and the president that please come down and make sure this nonsense should stop. But nobody said anything. Just at the eve of the election, when youths have beaten the minister the other way, they should say that youths should come out and do such things. I think it's very, they're not intelligent, you know. It's not intelligent.
All right. We're also in the company of Dr. Reverend Mbe Christian. He is a certified counselor and also is a member of the civil society. Thank you immensely, Doctor. You traveled all the way from Limbe to come be a guest. Thank you very much for renewing your confidence in UMTV.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joel, for inviting me. I'm so delighted. It's always my pleasure to be here in this noble house, to make sure that I also sing my voice, to make sure that we transform this Cameroon to where it is, to where it should be. I'm so glad that I'm here, despite the challenges that really paint a picture of our country that we are doing a program led because of series of light cuts. I wonder that we supply light in Equatorial Guinea. I've been in Malabo. I stayed there for 3 days. There was no light cut for 1 day, and we are the ones supplying light. We are having series of light cuts. I don't know what are we thinking about the leadership of this country. It's really a mess, and I want to confess that if they don't change, then we need to change them from the position, because the leader in the country is there for the benefit of people. That's stewardship. They are just there like servant for the people, because the people voted in that office. If they cannot do what is relevant or is important to benefit the people in that office, I preferable let them give way for other new leaders to come in.
You're from the Southwest, precisely in Limbe, Faku division of the Southwest region. You saw the youths in Boya March. They think that a group of guys known as Brigade Anti-Sadina attacked the minister, and to them it is illegal, it's unconstitutional. How did you look at it? You joined the youth march, or you felt that, like Madame Bakop is saying, that somebody somewhere is beating the drum and the youths are just dancing?
Madame Bakop is not far away from the point. It's really on point. As I earlier said, if you look at this country, as I earlier said, if you know about the Italian mafia years back, this is how the government of Cameroon is operating. Because, Macron was abused on the crowd. We know how the people were marching that had we see how George Bush was shoot with the stone in Iraq. We not see here that this will happen. Why they think that in Cameroon, a minister, a director, or somebody that is the population is disgruntled with, commit an act, they must put it to the law. Did they themselves do that law later? Let me just say that those students are much frustrated you that they have been manipulated by those government officials. Okara Belai is a retired person in civil service. He was supposed to be on retirement. And Lala Arfi, the governor of North, was supposed to be on retirement. They are the ones keeping them there and then manipulating the youth to feel that the youth think that they can manipulate the youth for their own benefit. Because Okara Belai, if you follow the normal administration structure, Okara Belai was supposed to be in service. He was supposed to be retired. Even the governor of Northwest, what are they still doing in the service? And they are manipulating young people to go out there to show the world that they love them and they like the regime. I'm telling you, Mr. Joel, this is the most popular regime, especially in Africa. Cameroon, I can rate it down to almost 95%, that the 95% of the population don't like this regime. Okay. And it's for what is unfolded. Yes, because statistics already prove, because if you go to the country, go to any sector, they would, especially those who are working in the government. Some of them behind will tell you that they don't like the way the civil service is operating. They don't like the way of government operating. Many will tell you that they don't like the way. And if you see how the other activities around the country, you know that they don't like it. So it's not a news.
I'm talking. The youths were manipulated.
The youths are manipulated, and they used to know that government should understand that manipulating the youth. You know, when you manipulate somebody to an extent, the person will turn back to you. To do the same thing that you have taught them to do. When many people were killing people in places and people were dumping this one, were going, people were not dying, we did not see youth going out. The government feels that anything that is not of the government should not be projected to the public. When it's wrong.
Let's take this
and
first,
they tell us that
this person who's watching us,
okay.
Please. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Bamenda. My name is Naya Diodone Sunju.
Naya Diodone Sunju from Bamenda.
Yes, I admire your program, sir.
Thank you immensely, Mr. Sunju.
Yes, my message, I have been worried with our future candidate of that is the future presidential candidate, the lady.
Okay.
Yes, I think you are giving to be a president, you should encourage the youth to think positively rather than say that they are manipulating on the youth. That's my small work. Because if you think that today is the other president, and you want to be a president, you want to be a president tomorrow, you don't know what will cause somebody to see your own leadership as.
All right.
To see your own leadership fully full.
Mr. Sunju.
That's my contribution. I appreciate your
All right. All right. Thank you. You react later, madam.
No
Yeah,
problem.
but let
Continue.
me continue.
Yeah.
What our listeners say, our
You're not reacting to what he said.
Yes.
It's meant for madam.
No,
not for you.
understand. You know, and we have to see that, Mr. Joel. Youth, look, for example, look at Canada. The president is a young man.
Okay.
There are many countries that we can look around the world. They are younger guys. Is it that we
That
are
was just a stepping stone.
Yeah, no, we should not be saying that. We should not be saying that because for how long? For more than since 2000, 1992 to now, we are talking about democracy with the same party on position. When people in other countries are talking about ex-president, they talk about how this party have done, this other party have done. We are still giving the same policy or the same structure or the same this thing for every year. The president will come and make a speech with the youth, but nothing changed.
The youth
That
are the
road
future of tomorrow.
Which youth?
Mr. Mutaka Silvanus is the special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto, who is the national president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement. Special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto, thank you very, very much for accepting to renew our confidence on Home TV.
Prince Joel Mukage, thanks immensely for inviting me once more on set, especially for us to debate on the two brain-wrecking topics. Permit me use this opportunity to maybe bring to limelight the statement of a university don, Professor Abba Oyono, who said one time in a sister channel that nous sommes dans une république abîmée.
C'est-à-dire means? What's the meaning of abîmé?
Nous sommes dans une république abîmée. The statement République abîmée can involve various problems, such as we are in a republic that has endemic corruption, social and economic injustices, human rights violation, and the effectiveness of institution and political polarization.
All right.
So that is exactly what is
When you
meant.
saw the youth march, you think like Mr. Mbe, Christian, just like Madame Carol Mbakov, that they were being pushed by some powers that be to go and carry out that action, because many people on social media and other WhatsApp platforms are of the opinion that the attack was done in Brussels and that there are Cameroonians in Brussels, that is in Germany. They would have been better for the government or these youth in Brussels or in Germany to march in front of the Cameroon embassy in Germany to decry the situation. When you have youth march in Boya, in Bamenda, in Yaoundé and Marwa, does it pass a message to those who attacked the minister in Brussels?
President, the mere coincidence of these two statements by two philosophers, Trasimako said it that justice is in the interest of the stronger party, and La Fontaine said La raison de plus fort est toujours la meilleure. You should understand that when it has to do with denouncing evil, especially when it is perpetrated towards those who are in power, you find that it is always done with a lot of ease. But then when it has to do with denouncing evil that is perpetrated by those who are in power against the governed, the ordinary civilians, it has to do with a lot of constraints. Just like Madame Bakov and my co-panelist doctor said, we've seen a lot of evils that are plaguing the nations. Let us take example the case of those who are called in French the allogens. That is foreigners who are living in a different region. Let's take the case of the South region. We saw a good number of Cameroonians, Anglophones, Francophones of other regions who are living in the Southwest regions. They were maimed a week ago, and some of them lost their lives simply because they are living in another region of the nation. Whereas we've been proning national unity, but we didn't see the Minister of Youth and Civic Education mobilize youth to condemn such a heinous crime that is perpetrated by Cameroonians, fellow Cameroonians, against their brothers. So you bear in mind with me that this is a political maneuver from the regime in place simply because they are losing ground. You understand that even at the international scene, they are no longer credible, and they want to portray a fake impression that the youths of Cameroon are behind them. So we've seen that the Northwest and the Southwest region are victims of the let me say, the barbarism of the central system in place, because let us look at exactly what provoked the Anglophone crisis as a result of revendications of university students at the University of Boya. You find that the rector then at the University of Boya, Nolova Lyunga, who is the Minister of Secondary Education, that was the one who actually invited the forces of law and order to impound on ordinary civilians with a lot of impunity. Some of them had to lose part of their body parts and other like, and then that went with impunity. Nothing was done. So I want to tell you that this is just simply a maneuver from the system in place, and we know how the system functions. Once they know that they are losing ground and they know that they have been declared persona non grata, as in Christendom we call it, the regime in place is declared ikabo. So what they have to do is that they need to do everything possible to bounce back. But then, a few months to the 2025 presidential elections, 40 years in slavery, 40 years in misery, 40 years in annihilation. Cameroonians youths are of age. They understand that there comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over and no one will be willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair. So the Cameroonian youths want to rise up, and they will be rising up come October to tell the regime in place, we are tired of manipulations. A few hunger-stricken youths who are still thinking that they can allow themselves to be slaves of the regime in place will get themselves disappointed.
Minister Paula Tanganji has warned that any action of violence after the presidential elections are going to meet with fierce and very negative repercussion for those who have plans of coming out after the elections. Away from that, Madam Bako, before I ask you my question, react to Mr. Sonju from Bamenda. He thinks that as a presidential candidate, your language should be juicy, and that if you think that youths today are misled, you may be losing some of your potential voters come October.
Okay, I thank Mr. Sonjo, that's it, from
Sonjo
Bamenda.
from Bamenda.
Okay, thank you for your reaction. But what I want to tell you is that a politician that is not ready to educate the population is not a good politician, because we are not coming in power to continue to maintain a system that has been destroying us, okay? We are coming into powers to make sure that we reorganize the platform that we call Cameroon, and we set a normal foundation. Let me ask you, Mr. Sonjo, can you be able to sit, eat good and quality food, sleep on quality bed, and have quality light when you know that other youths somewhere, somehow are miserable living? And you think that by telling others that are taking money for it is that we are not ready to have good support. Anyways, even God did not make, how do I put it? God did not make compatibility in between human being and himself. There are some people that are going for the devil, and they tell God straight in their eyes that we are going for the devil. Some are in for God. So I'm not here to say that all Cameroonians are going to vote me. And I don't want a Cameroonian that is not ready to die for his nation to vote me. I want somebody that is ready to know this is our time to write our story. This is our time to step up as youths and to say enough is enough. So I will say it again. Those youth are manipulated because they are not ready to step out for a day without eating. Nobody has ever died in this nation for hunger. Nobody would tell me that he spent 3 months in Cameroon without eating and he died. I would take him back to Hitler in the days of the Nazi.
Hitler
in Germany. They brought out a man from the cave. The man was put there by Hitler to test the length of time a human being can spend before dying of hunger.
Of starvation.
Of starvation. And the man made 4 months almost. He did not die. But it was so dry to his bones. So those youth cannot tell me that they were too hungry to take the money they gave them to match.
They gave the money?
Ask me. Or prove to me that they was not giving the money. Why didn't
they were patriotic.
What patriotic?
Patriotism.
But what patriotism are you talking about? Patriotism over a minister had bodyguard that is eating very well, that has been beating, but not patriotism about young girls and young boys that have been beaten and destroyed. Mr. Sonjo, I went to Bamenda. I went to, not even Bamenda, I went to Fumban. I want you to go there, please. Take your car from Bamenda to Fumban. I think it's 2,000. You will see them sleeping in a place like this, 300.
Okay.
The place is smelling shit. They have nowhere to bathe, no food at all.
You're blaming it on poverty.
Prostitution is the only thing that have, because even to farm, they need to pay a farm to have. Okay, so what I'm saying straight, and I will not ask for excuses for that. Okay. Youth should stop eating money of blood because they want to sleep and rest.
Money of blood.
It's blood money.
Thank you.
Okay, it's blood money. I can explain. Yeah, it's blood money.
All right, just to say that, Mr. Sonju, hope you've got your answer. Thank you immensely for indicating they're watching in Bamenda. The lines you have on your TV, please feel free to call us and give your contribution, just like you can send your text messages live on the program. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook Live, Home TV, or on YouTube on Home TV Cameroon. Leave your comments, share. Now, this is my question to you. Cameroon has 180 parliamentarians, 100 senators. The 170 are elected and 30 are appointed by the head of state. When you look at decision making in Cameroon, the March session opened on the 11th. As we speak, it is still ongoing. Yeah. When you look at the decisions that we have in Cameroon, do you think that the National Assembly and the Senate, that is our parliamentarians and our senators, influence some of the decisions, the laws that we have in Cameroon?
Thank you for the question. And I used to say that before we address a particular situation, we need to put the contents. What is deputy and what is senator? What do they really mean? Because when you understand your duty, then you know what you're doing. Okay. If you don't understand your duty, you'll be doing things to please. They say a deputy is he that stands to vote for laws. He proposes and he votes, okay?
And checks government policies.
That's what I wanted to say. And decide if they check government policies. Seriously. We have, we said 180 parliamentarian, 180. Then 30 is nominated, is appointed by the president.
By the president.
And 150 voted. Let me ask you a question.
No. The National Assembly, all the 180 are voted. It is a Senate that they vote 70, and the president, out of his magnanimity, appoints 30.
Magnanimity, okay. Anyways, when you look at the condition of Cameroonian right now, are you seeing any influence about the deputies? Are you seeing any influence? No, I'm answering the question by an affirmative question, okay? They're not doing anything relevant that we can point out to say, okay, this is a law, deputies have votes, this is a law, this is a law. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of money are being shipped in, and we don't know why. They are standing today for the
March session.
The March session. They will spend a lot of money in food. They will spend a lot of money in drinks. Some are paid to travel. They have commission they are giving them. What for? This is the crisis of Northwest and Southwest. It's how many years today?
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years. Till now, we've not had the parliamentarian address the situation properly. This is the situation of children not going to school in those different places. We have the ghost town that has stayed almost 8 years. We have not heard from them. But we are seeing deputies and we are seeing senators fighting to maintain themselves on position. We don't understand why they are there. They say they have been voted for people. In the law of deputies, except I made a mistake, you must stay in a particular place.
Of course.
Normally.
They wanted to represent a constituency.
Meaning you must be there. But if you go in there, you will discover that most of them are staying in Yaoundé Douala. Or maybe Bafoussam. None of them are sleeping in their various villages to ensure that they watch over situations that are happening and they bring it up to the court, if I can call it that way, and they follow it up. Many people call me from their different villages to address situations that normally deputies are supposed to address. And when I will ask them that, why are you not calling the deputy or your senator, they will say, are we even seeing them? And even when you see them, you have to write audiences. And before they receive you, it's another problem. So deputies and senators should be able to tell us what exactly are they doing in that house, costing us almost billions per year, but not really addressing situation, and sometimes being the problem of Cameroonians. Because I heard, maybe I made a mistake, you will correct me. I heard that they succeeded into voting a law that gives them 100 million per year, their pocket allowance. That one was out. But I've not heard they voted a law about schools, about the Northwest and the Southwest, or about what happened to the refugees at the far north. Nothing. So, for me, they are really a problem to a solution.
To you, they are not too significant.
No.
Dr. Reverend Ben Christian, parliamentarians, one of the problems that Cameroonians will always raise is also the modus operandi through which these parliamentarians are elected, because you have a situation where 180 parliamentarians are elected. When you look at the National Assembly today, after the CPDM with an absolute majority of MPs, is followed by the SDF with just 5, the PCRN with just 5, and the other parties have 1. Now, when you look at the system, and now at the level of the Senate, 70 senators are elected and 30 are appointed by the head of state. How do you have people actually protect a people, whereas the party in power has an absolute majority?
Mr. Joel, I used to describe your parliament that you call National Assembly. I call it a shrine.
A shrine?
Yes, a shrine, in the sense that people have to go invoke spirit for them to make sure that the things that they are supposed to do in this country work for them in the spirit realm. Because we cannot talk about a parliament. When we talk about parliament, I don't want to listen about all of the MPs. So they are greedy and they are codependency. They are narcissists. There are people that they think about themselves. They don't think about the nation. I used to tell people that these are the most unpatriotic Cameroonians in this country. Because we cannot be talking about people who are sitting in parliament. I mean, the roads that are running, their road. Cameroon, probably took this coming from a country from Aijo, good country with good vegetation. Now it's just a garbage and sewage all over. And then they sit in Yaoundé and tell us that they are holding. What sort of session are they holding? What is the benefit of that session to a common Cameroonian that voted them in that session? That's what we are looking at. Now, let's look at the various towns. And no one have emerged to show that I'm different as a parliamentarian. I'm different because normally in all constituencies that they find themselves, they was to have a parliamentarian house or a senate house where a citizen need to go to that senate house. When you go to Akwa Ibom state in Nigeria, you have the senator. There's the Akwa Ibom senator house where you can go and meet the senator. They're sitting on his seat, like he's on his job, like his office, and you ask a question that pertains to the city, and he has the responsibility to address it and answer it and give a good feedback. But in Cameroon, we don't have it. All they know themselves is going to Yaoundé. So that's why I call it shrine. Shrine in the sense that that's what they got invoke. I don't know what is the manipulation of the spirit to make the youth to feel that we are working for you and make the youth to, I don't know how I can put it. But Joel, if you look at our country, when we talk about a parliamentarian, a parliament in any country, it is that which supersede or who start to supersede or control the government policies. He guides the government on laws. Make sure they respect the law and make sure every project that concerns the nation is being respected and the terms of that project is being spelled out and is done well. That is the rule of the parliamentarians. They make sure that make sure that the reason why they voted there in the different constituencies, the promises that they made or the plight of the people of the constituency that are coming from is being met. They ask them that they are sitting there. They will tell that in the constituency they have done 1 or 2 things there. In some other countries like Nigeria, you see parliamentarians or senators are being voted in Senate because of what they've first done in their own constituency before they even voted. But here, for me, sitting here, Mr. Joel, I believe that most of this bunch of the day they are there, if not or majority of them are hungry men and women. That's why they go there. They don't think about the constituency. They don't think about where they are coming from. They don't think about the plight of the people. We can't be talking in Cameroon now, Joel. We're talking about basic necessity like water, electricity. When we are still suffering in this country. And then we say we have parliamentarians that go there and sit there. They lodge in a hotel, pay with the taxpayer money. They eat food, pay with the taxpayer money. And they come back again with a bunch of money in their pocket. And they say they are parliamentarians and they are senators. It's a shame to me sitting here. Because in other countries, for example, like US, senator, you are next to the president. Even a governor, you can next to the president because you can start as a governor, you vote for the presidency. So what is the vision that each parliamentarian have his own constituency? How are they projecting that vision in that parliament? And how successful is the result coming out from that parliament? That's what I still believe in what Mr. Weber says in parliament. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. And that is why, don't call me Mr. Weber, that's why you see, we attend the youth that they are themselves. Because the government policy and the parliamentarians, they're not helping this country. They're not helping the country because if we cannot be still play when we know that in the world structure, they look at African continent as an emerging continent, which means that the developmental structure now in the world, Africa are emerging. And Cameroon is still 10-50 meters still behind, not doing anything because how can a country emerge? It starts with the laws and the policies, respected and put it in straight. Everybody follow the laws, everybody respect the law. And when the product is put in place, everybody is being asking you to, everybody is asked to toe the line. When you are a president, you toe the line. You make sure you respect the country law. But look at what is happening. They have invested a lot of money and put in foreign banks, and then they are looking looking in the various banks in the country to see who have money there to take that person that you want to fight the government, you want to take government. It is a policy. But let me tell the parliamentarian, if you can have conscience, if you preferable, because I don't say you preferable, you drop that as a parliamentarian or as a senator, rather than to be shamed to you yourself and to your country.
Special Advisor Professor Maurice Kamto. Similarly, when we look at the National Assembly and we also look at the Senate, recently there is a bill, like Madam Bako was saying, recently there is a bill that was voted at the National Assembly to increase even mobile money transactions that moved, and there are taxes that keep coming up every day. And now the common man down there is asking themselves that we voted you guys to represent us because we are the downtrodden. Now when you have a National Assembly and a Senate House that are vote bills that disfavors the common man, how do we analyze it that the people set a trap and that trap caught their own dog?
Prince Joel, America is considered as heaven on earth. And that's the more reason that we always allude to the statements of some of the remarkable presidents of America who have done things which are very remarked. I remember President Fitzgerald Kennedy said in one of his speeches that when the cup of endurance runs over, people will no longer be willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair. And he said again that if the free society cannot save the many who are perishing, that society cannot equally protect the rich who are the few who are rich. So when you look at a country like Cameroon, I said it when I alluded to the statement of Professor Abba Oyuno, who is a constitutional publicist, professor. He said Cameroon is nous sommes dans une république abîmée. So a republic where you see that.
Similarly, let's talk about the National Assembly.
Yes, that's what I want to take the National Assembly. You understand that many people consider ascending to the post of a parliamentarian as a source of avarice. To them, they want to grab that position simply because they want to better their living conditions and that of their immediate families. So they care less what happens to the ordinary Cameroonian. When the CRM boycotted the twin elections of 2020, you find that a lot of demagogues went into the street and said, oh, Professor Maurice Kamto is self-centered. He wants to fight only to become president of the republic, and he doesn't see that other Cameroonians can even pick a post of member of parliament and see how they can better their lives. We also said that when we talk of the life of a political party, a political party is formed to aspire to ascend to the supreme magistracy and to work for the common good of Cameroonians and not the common goods of individuals. That's why we say that we want to see Cameroonians who are having the convictions, those who are highly who have the conviction, they believe that they are born to sacrifice and not born for others to sacrifice for them. You find that the boycott of the 2020 municipal parliamentary elections had to export a lot of fragility. It has to put the political convictions of most militants of the CRM to question. Those who said we're there for the interests of the people, we saw some of them had to resign from the CRM simply because they boycotted the election. And we had to say, does the boycott has anything to do with the governance program of the CRM? Does it have anything to do with the convictions of the political party? So that they were there particularly because some of them had never earned a well-paid job. They saw that if they had to be parliamentarians, they were having a well-paid job. So they had never occupied the post of a municipal councillor or maybe a mayor. If they had to be mayor, it was going to facilitate them to have a good social status in the society and make them talk with a lot of alacrity. But that's not the mission of a political party. A political party is created to see how it can work collectively to better the conditions of Cameroonians. So coming now to your question.
You're still to come there?
Yes. If you look at the if you look at what is happening with the National Assembly, you find that our National Assembly is a toothless bulldog. So it's made of people.
Like the League of Nations?
Yes. It's a toothless bulldog. Permit me say so because the Anglophone crisis sparked out in 2016 amidst numerous grievances that were raised by the indigenous people of the two English-speaking regions. We want to thank Honorable Wilbur Joseph, who had to fill the gap because God has always been looking for a man who can stand within the gap. He spoke of the need of restructuring the governance system of Cameroon so that Anglophones should have a good image in the nation, because Anglophones are all been considered as underdogs. I remember when John Fundi launched the SDF in 1992 and multipartyism came up, after he contested the presidential elections of 1992, you realize that Anglophones were given very derogatory names. They were considered as Biafrans, they were considered as les ennemis dans la maison.
Let's deal with
all
the
those
National
things.
Assembly
So
and the Senate.
I'm coming back to what I'm saying. So you understand that
when you look at the decision making in our society,
the decision making, yes, the decision
do
making.
the parliamentarians and the senators influence the decisions we have in
They
Cameroon?
actually do not influence the government action simply because
That's my question.
they belong to an obese majority. Okay. You see that the first thing is that the criteria for somebody to be somebody to invest as a candidate for parliamentary election is not as a result of the popularity that it has at the grassroots. The system in place, Cameroon system, has made it in such a way that they are looking for somebody who can conform to the system in place. They make you somebody important so that you should be solely dependent and accountable to them. Once you are having popularity at the grassroots, they will not want you to be their candidate. Simply because if you have popularity at the grassroots, there is that high tendency that one day you might turn up to rival with them. So they want somebody who is not having popularity. Thank you.
Abakwa boy, you're welcome back. How is Abakwa today? The name again is?
The future candidate, I'll forget her name. She really answered the question, but I'm not convinced.
Okay.
I still have some worries.
Make your worries known.
Yes. So she said they have killed children, nobody went out, nobody marched. Perhaps as a leader, she was supposed to take the lead of the march path so that people will follow her.
Okay.
Because of the children who were killed somewhere, and she escaped. And then she talked about 300 people who are sleeping in a very place somewhere in the West region.
In Fumban.
In Fumban, thank you, my brother. I don't know what she has done about it because she's supposed to leave all these things. So, and more to that, the youth also, they have a choice. The youth cannot follow one line. Even if she's the president, all the youth can follow one. What I will address my sister, my mom, my aunt is, are these first come to the platform like this? She should use the platform to convince people to follow her ideology.
Okay.
Rather than criticizing people.
Abakwa boy,
Yeah.
do you belong to a political party?
It seems like.
It belongs to a political party. That's my, I have a private.
I know. From what you're speaking, we understand. Thank you,
It's a
Mensa.
CPDM.
We understand where you're coming from, Abakwa.
Okay,
Yes,
let me-
answer Abakwa before I give you my question. It seems
I'm
that
not,
as a leader, take the lead and let others follow.
I
And that way
want
you
to-
saw people in Fumban. What have you done to ameliorate the situation of the people you said that are packed in the same house?
If somebody tells you of a story like that, meaning the person was on ground,
Okay.
and the person did what was supposed to be done. Okay,
Alright.
and I want to tell Abakwa that it sounds that you have taken your own party, and you want to shape me in the light of what you feel is good. But the leader leads. The leader is not shaped. And we are in the country. Maybe you are living abroad because it's like you are not in Bamenda. To say, I think the Minister of Territorial Affairs said no activities. Okay, no march at all before election, before the period of campaign. I mean, so now when we see those guys marching, you cannot tell us on reasonable proof that they were not backed up at least by the Minister of Territorial
They
Affairs.
went right to the governor's
At least they
office.
went to the governor's office, meaning that they were given to. Some of us, we wrote up to the presidency, we wrote to the ministry, to all the ministries, to bring the case of those IDPs that do not have birth certificates. I still have the signatures that authorize me, that receipt me with the different files. No answer today. So if you are sleeping good and you are eating good about that's good. As you say, no use will stand behind me. That's true. And I said that even people are denying God. So if even God do not have the 100% appreciation of human beings, it's not a human being like me. But you will not stop me saying the truth. Okay. The truth is, you should not tolerate that they should use them to take blood money. Okay. Because the money they gave those youths, they could buy ovens in hospital. They could buy mantras or make good electricity and water system to ensure that people eat well, and sleep under good light. But they can use such money to take that, go around the nation and talk to say we disagree with the aggression of the minister. I don't tolerate the aggression of the minister. I said it in many channels. I don't tolerate those guys of the bus. But what I don't tolerate more is that we fight against somebody, we fight for somebody that had bodyguards, and we do not fight for those who do not have bodyguards, and they are dying every day. As he mentioned it.
When you look at the National Assembly that we have today, our parliamentarians and the senators, do you have a problem with the way they get into office?
That's even what I wanted to mention when they passed the mic to Doctor. You see, when somebody does not suffer for a thing, he will not appreciate it.
He will not value it.
He will not value it. Most of them, like I said, bought their sanitary robs or their deputy rob for money. Some 12 million, some 15 million. When they get in there, my brother, they have to take back their money first. Okay. So whatever they will work for is to make sure they come back with the expenditure, they call it in French, retour sur investissement. So they've invested. They must have benefits, okay? First thing. Second thing, how many of the deputies and the senators are living in their villages? How many of them? I'm telling you that if there are 100, 99 are living in Yaoundé Douala. Okay. They go to their village when they want to make sure, okay, they bring crowds. When the crowds have gathered, they must have shared their own vision, install the CPDM, because I'm not CPDM. But right now, I'm not talking to a party. I'm talking to people that stood up to say they are fighting for the people. But they are eating at the table of the party. One is to go around and fool the population. They do it very well. But even to go to the population and listen to their cries. Can you imagine to see a deputy, you have to write audiences? And they will tell that you cannot meet with the deputy. You have to go and meet with his secretary, or you meet with the gate man. What kind of policy is that? They are there because we want them there. So they should be open 24/7, at least at a given point. Even in the night, people are going to eat stuff. The deputy should come out of his bed to go answer. The same thing they're asking our president to do, the same thing the deputies are doing. They become gods, small gods. They have bodyguards, and they are the first person to stand and say we want change. We're fooling ourselves here. So those guys are not deputy enough for the people. They are deputy for their belly, okay? They are deputies for their families. On serious note, they vote for the 100 million in their pocket. They vote for Orange. We know that there is commission. They call it Retour Commission. They are voting for their pockets. They are never voting for the situation of Cameroonian. Can you imagine we are paying network very expensive in Cameroon? Sometimes we even pay it. Network is dangling. You wouldn't even have thought to use the 5,000 or 10,000 air you bought. But some guys are sitting at the parliamentary house to vote again for those kind of things. Then tell me, they discovered that the system is weak. The system is there to feed those who have more to put in place to support the system. They themselves have bought into the game. We support the system. You said that there are almost 150 CPDM deputies. Come on. Are we joking here? So at least the 30 that are not CPDM, what is their work? If they decided today, we don't want the money they are paying us, we don't want the cars. You know how much costs the cars of a deputy? 104 million. Okay? They take that kind of a money, take that kind of a pay, they pay them 102 million. 100 million, 200, put in the pocket, and they say the country is not good. No, if it's not good, you resign, or you don't take the money to show the government system in place that we are not ready to buy in your threat. Okay. We are in here for the people and for the people alone. Right. But that's not what is happening.
Of course, we still encouraging all our viewers to go live on Facebook, like, comment the program, go on YouTube. Of course, it's Home TV Cameroon, and you can call the numbers that you have on your screen. Call us live on the program and give your contributions to the program, and as well as you can also send us a text message. Another thing that may have given the CPDM an absolute majority, because at the level of the National Assembly, for your bill to pass through the National Assembly, it is voted. Now, the CPDM has an absolute majority. One of the things that gave the CPDM an absolute majority is that the CPDM won all the seats in the Northwest and the Southwest, because many opposition political parties did not have a fertile ground to go for these elections. The one of Maurice Kamto asked one to Semu Tagabe now. Seemingly, the hostilities in the Northwest and the Southwest gave the CPDM an upper hand to have an absolute majority at the National Assembly.
Well, Mr. Joel, I want to refresh on that statement that you said that the government had won all the seats in Norway. I said, the better way to put that particular point is that they rigged the Norwest and Southwest. They steal the election from Norwest and Southwest. That is a better way we should address this situation.
What about areas where
candidates ran let me tell you now, Mr. I'll be on the field.
Yeah, there were areas where there was a single candidate like in Cambe Central.
Let me tell you, I'll be on the field. Okay. So I've been in Kumba. I have seen people that the government have played that you don't even need to vote. Just again, they want to be a mayor, we'll put you a mayor. That's how they have been operating. They already had that barrain. They already had that structure. They already had that. As they are talking about the presentation, they are doing mapping. All that they are holding, they are doing mapping. Now we cannot continue to allow a one party to hold Cameroon hostage. We are under hostage. This country is under invasion by those politicians. They say they are politicians. They are not for us, because we cannot leave a system like this to continue to manipulate us, continue to corrupt us right up to this level. That's why you see most of the people who are either in the civil service or in the parliament, they don't even want, they don't even deserve it. They were just giving, they were not giving the just force to them. That's why they don't even know what to do. They just follow, that, they get that position. That's why you see, they will tell you that sometimes you hear a whole body on the call will say, my hand is tight. That is sort of what? What are the policy of the guy? What are the law? What are the God says? And that's why the government will send youths on the street to march to say they want to support the government, into say that the law says, because in a good country that follows laws, we need to talk about the law. That is it. We follow the law. If you slap me, I said the law says. And if you are Mr. Tangaji want to say the law says that that's hostility. You don't hostile the people that voted. The president never vote you on that position. He was supposed to go before the law for the that statement and a threat. Which means they have already made some of us to know that this country is not a democratic country. It's a dictatorial country with we are in anarchy. We are in the royal, how can I put it? And even Saudi Arabia, which is a royal country, look at the structure they put in place. Because they have good governance structure. They have the good mindset. Corruption is at a very low rate. But in Cameroon here, the system in place is promoting corruption. They even give young boys ways to corrupt. Because there are people who call them, they plan for the government to take people on the street. You know now, 11 February, when they put our money, you go, they're already giving them money. And those are taxpayer money. What does the law say? Does not take that provision? I asked the CPDM people that they say there's also money. Where did they get their money from campaign? How did they do their fundraising? How did they spend that money?
Party militants contribute.
No. Which party militants? Have you ever shown us coming one day to the screen as election is going, Mr. Joel, and show me how they're doing collection for their money? Show me how many of the. No, I want to. No, Mr. Joel. Let's be realistic. Call me one day on the TV. Let's show you how they are holding their meeting, and let's see how they are putting the money on the table. So that's what you will say. But what I'm saying is that we should want to be accountable. Look, and sometimes some Cameroonians, when they look what's happened in Burkina Faso, in other countries, they ask themselves question: are we Africans? Do we want to emerge? Do we want to go to a position whereby we will even be encouraging our own citizens not to even travel abroad, but to remain in this country and to enjoy the good governance that you have been in place? But if you look at it as from today, no Cameroonian will tell you that they are looking at the limelight that this government can change. Because we cannot be the government never. People don't resign. You cannot see a parliamentarian resign. You cannot see a person in the government or a minister say, no, I'm tired with this system, I'm resign. No. You cannot see a government whereby people say that this thing is not good and the government says it's true, we'll see how they and they do something about it. What are they doing? Most people will tell you that the government that when you say something that is accordant with their own networking and their own way they operate, they target you.
That is it.
And that they can cause you accident or whatsoever they can cause, or they can find a way to make sure that
There's no free expression.
There's no free expression of what. And that's why we are saying that if Cameroon is telling us that we are a democratic country and there is a freedom of speech, we should allow the people to talk freely. And
good afternoon.
Is it the same Abakwa?
Please, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Bamso.
From Fumban.
Okay.
Bamso. All right. Bamso is in Fumban, is that? Indian division. Okay. The division of the Prime Minister, head of government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Goode. All right. So it's Bamso today. And the youths of Indian are preparing the Indian Cultural Festival that is coming up on the 21st and the 23rd.
Actually.
All right. Let's get your contribution.
Yes, I want to contribute on the part of the youth coming out to denounce the happening in Belgium. So that's the point of the youth coming out to say they don't support what was happening. Some youth like that have to understand the future. They don't know what they are doing.
Good question.
Because to them they are supporting the act. Some appreciate how many of the youth are in the government.
How many?
So you consider what control doing supporting everything. When shall you be on that? I'm very disappointed with the youth taking such action. And again, you the youth, you go to school. What is the way to go? What about the educational system? You have gone graduate, some of you having PhD, no work. Because of the educational system, what does the policy in place do to change the educational system? You look at the agricultural system, the youth in Boya, that PDC in Boya, youth are working there, they are not being paid for long. They are not being paid. When you come on street to say that you say no, have you come on to say that no, the suffering, the Finnish people are suffering? Have you come up as you to say that? Because some of them, you look at some of them, their parents are citizen workers, and they are not working, and they are not being receiving pay. They can't come out and say, no, enough is enough, this government, pay the workers, pay people that are working. I'm disappointed. I'm just saying that youth, they should look very well. They are going towards election. Youth should take them. They should look very well and they know that it is their future. If they manipulate the 1,000, they should think of their
That is it.
tomorrow and their children. That's what one thing.
Good
Thank you.
contribution.
okay, Mr. Please, let me just wrap up now as I was talking. For my caller called me. I thank God.
Bamso?
Yes, you're from Bamso. You're from Indian. It's just to tell you that what I tell you, the government is very unpopular. Is what the youth is telling you there because
It says that some of the parents of the guys who are marching work.
yes, because if you look at CDC, they have not been paid. There are many companies around Cameroon just serving Chantal Nava here. Look at how many money that the government is getting from Chantal Nava. They have not been paid. People with PhD, they are going on street to ask job in Cameroon. Traore is there in Burkina Faso. He's telling his citizens that nobody to go to America. It's a shit whole country. Sit there in this country, the president, I have responsibility to make sure you live a good life, and he's doing it. He doesn't say with mouth. He's building local houses to make sure that Burkina Faso's youth do not go abroad and suffer. Let them better live in the country and live a good life in the country. Giving the farmers good equipment for them to make sure that. I can't remember I saw a video where he was telling the people who are working in the farm, I think tomatoes and this. He said this country counts on you. And make sure that if you have anything, tell us, let us support so that you can have sufficiency in this country so we can export our good outside. You have already made asked to make small factory to manufacture tomato paste.
It transform prison terms. He said that instead of sending someone to prison, preferably go and work.
You go and work in the farm, and then they have already come out with nuclear plant to make sure they have good constant electricity and have what research center so that they can at least they can do more of research of themselves. Those are the things that we expect for a government to do. Not just sit there and be threatening opposition party, say that are threatening their citizens and plan and doing. I mean, doing all of network that is not of course. I used to say most youth that understood this country, and now they have to bail out themselves because the country is in trouble, and this is the only time that they can bail out themselves. Because if they don't, then the next session, if this very government will come in, it will be so horrible for this country.
Say Mutaga, in as much as we blame the parliamentarians and the senators of not being effective in decision making, We also blame the opposition political party. In this place, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement of Professor Maurice Kamto for boycotting the 2020 municipal and legislative elections because everything, the handwriting was clean on the wall that the CRM was supposed to pick a handful of councils and seats at the National Assembly.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the CRM gave the CPDM the green light to continue having an absolute majority at the National Assembly.
Je saisis l'occasion pour saluer mon ami possédeur Tamunangi Martial. Donc nous avons passé plus de 2 ans à la prison centrale de Kondongi qui est en train de suivre l'émission.
Okay.
Et je reviens en anglais pour vous répondre, monsieur Président Mukage. I wish to tell the noble televiewers of this prestigious TV channel, not just only prestigious because it's a meeting on a high frequency, but because it has fine brains that always regorge to brainstorm on issues concerning the life of a nation. So, like I always said, you know, in a supposed pleasure in sin will always yield more than the equivalence of pain.
Okay.
We have taken a lot of time to enlighten Cameroonians on the need of the boycott of the 2020 presidential elections. Anyway, since you want us to turn it like an old witch song, I would like us to sing the song. If those who like witchcraft who want to practice it, then I think that witchcraft is bad, but then it's always good to, they say time is money, Prince Joel. I said it here on the course of this program before we even reached at this particular juncture that the CRM boycotting the twin elections of 2020 was as a result of absolute necessity. It was necessary for the CRM to have boycotted the twin elections of 2020 simply by the mere fact that after the rigging of the 2018 presidential elections, the CRM had a lot of grievances against the regime in place, which we thought that before we could go for the twin elections, those grievances, the ease which were reproaching the government in place would have been handled. That's why we had to petition the African Union, we had to petition the European Union and even the United Nations, pressurizing the government in place that there should be room for the consensual reform of the electoral system. And after the boycott, we did not relent. We had to go a long way canvassing for other political parties of the opposition, the like of the SDF, the UDC, the party of Prince Ekoso, and other political parties, USDP, so that we could talk with the ruling CPDM, the President of the Republic of Cameroon, to see that we try to put an electoral system in place which is quite credible and transparent. So the CRM boycotting the 2020 municipal parliamentary elections was not simply because we thought that it was a way to emulate the example of the SDF, who boycotted the elections of 1990 and finally bounced back. You know, even though the SDF boycotted the election of 1990, they bounced back hilariously because the SDF, from the rumors that crystallized the social media and even the press, it showed that the SDF had to win the presidential elections of 1992, even though they boycotted the municipal and parliamentary elections. We were not emulating them. Like I said, the CRM always continue to say that politics should be a matter of conviction.
Let me ask you this question. Make it easier for you. Make it easier for you. Professor Maurice Kamto did not go for the municipal and legislative elections, according to him, for 2 principal reasons. One, the electoral code is not favorable to the Anglophone crisis. He wants to go for presidential elections. What has changed?
Nothing.
The crisis has been solved, or the electoral code has been touched?
Prince Joel Mukage, I always appreciated you because of your genuineness as a journalist. And
I hope you're not going to fight on this, okay? You just have to answer the question.
Your question.
Yeah, because I have the same question here.
Because we are blaming the CPDM.
Yes.
We at the National Assembly, the CRM has now majority.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the CRM had an opportunity because in 2018, most people saw the CRM like a kind of a rejuvenation of multi-partism.
Like saviors.
A lot of people were willing to give their votes, and you agree with me that it cost the CRM a lot of militants. Time for Richard used to do the PCRN, Celestin Germain,
Prince
Michel Ndoki, and what have you? The list is endless.
Not only those guys, even Cameroonians suffer for this.
Prince Joel,
there are people who are still in prison because of that decision.
Like you said, I will not take away your laurels, your accolades, simply because you are asking a brain-wrecking question. I said you are very experienced and intelligent journalist. I've also appreciated you by the mere fact that all the panelists you invite for your program also have the fine brains. Like I said, I always continue to say it emphatically, politics is not a source of avarice. The CRM will not emulate the like of the party of Mabelo Buba Magare, who had 66 parliamentarians during the 1992, I think it was 1992 parliamentary elections, and could not impact any change in the nation. Like I said, we just left the 2018 presidential elections. You said it. What
has changed?
What has changed? The only thing that has changed is the fact that we've taken time to sensitize Cameroonians to understand that they should not depend on the slogan like it always used to be fanfared by the former strong politician of the nation, John Fundi May, so rest in perfect peace. I catch him, they say I catch him. It is not come to that is going to catch President Biya to remove him from the Unity Palace. They are Cameroonians. Our united efforts is what is going to remove Paul Biya from the Unity Palace. We have educated Cameroonians on the need to vote massively to secure their votes.
That's what I wanted to say.
To defend it.
What I don't agree with him, and I don't agree with CRI, is because they had the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Cameroonians, okay? We trusted them. We saw into them people that could really outstand
you saw
the
government. Come to the new John Fundi of the 1990s.
The government had place to stand, but we don't know why President Maurice Kamto stood up alone. Because this needs to be said clear. Nobody participated in the decision he took that day to say they are not going. Nobody participated. He stood on his own. What was the interest not doing it? Why did you refuse to go there? Because the law has not changed and the law will not change. The Northwest and the Southwest issue are more violent now than before. We are even going into what they call it, kidnapping, bloodshedding. Nothing has changed. And the Lekam law is not ready to change now. So he's no good reason, because those are the things that hurt us, some of us.
All right.
There's no good reason. There's no good reason that they will stand today to say this, because they wanted to avoid people not
Madam says it was a singular decision by Maurice Kamto.
Yeah, it was a singular decision.
There is a Voltairean dictum that says, I might not agree with what you are saying, but I have that obligation to allow you to have to say it right up to the end. It is a Voltairean dictum. Okay. Like I said a while ago, the mere fact that the CRM boycotted the 2020 twin election wasn't an error.
Okay.
And that decision was not unilaterally...
Are the consequences of following...
Let me explain, please. The decision was not unilaterally taken by Professor Maurice Kamto, because there is a council of the party. Last, the national party...
What did you tell Michel Ndoki, who said that there is nobody who is a dictator more than Maurice Kamto?
Well, this is demagogy. Okay. I don't want even to talk about Michel Ndoki, because she's been my political friend. We were together in prison before I left PADEC to join. I was first national vice president of PADEC, whose current chairman is the minister delegate, the Minister of Justice. You should understand. So, like, I want to say, our relationship with Michel Ndoki is beyond politics. So I don't want to say she's not my girlfriend, because I see some people think that that's what Cameroonians who are erotic in their minds would think. Like I said, Cameroonians should understand that the CRM nurtured the idea of boycotting the elections simply because we had grievances. We needed time to educate Cameroonians, because we of the CRM, those of us of the inner caucus, went into the street in 2020 to protest the boycott, to protest electoral hold up. Okay. If Cameroonians could understand that democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people, you understand that they should be ready at any time to fight for their rights. Not individuals, not party officials should be fighting for their rights, but they themselves that vote and understand that their votes have been rigged should be the ones who are supposed to be in the street. Now Cameroonians are fully aware of the fact that when they vote, they are not supposed to go and stay in their homes and then expect somebody to say, I catch him, yes, I catch him. No,
it's because it's not going to work. That
we took time to educate them. We took time to educate them. As I said it, He said the electoral system has not changed, but the mentalities of Cameroonians have also changed, because they understand that now it is a collective effort. Those of the Northwest and Southwest region understand that the CRM was never created. It was never created to fight for the common good of individuals, but for the collective good of Cameroonians.
Right.
We fought for them. We told them we sacrificed our life. Mukage sacrificed his life. I was in prison for 2 years, 3 months, 19 days.
What has it brought to the change of?
He has not brought anything to the change. I will tell you that, according to you, Cameroonians have understood that there are people who can sacrifice for them, and that's what we want. Jesus Christ came. The Pharisees could not, they were far to see him. The Sadducees were sad to see him, but then it did not change anything from the fact that he came to sacrifice. So for their own salvation, we have sacrificed to make Cameroonians to understand that politics is not a source of avarice. Before you go into politics, it's not because you are a poor, wretched man. It's because you believe that you should fight to change the condition of life for every Cameroonian and not for your immediate family, and to better up your situation.
2025 is here, and the consequences of your boycott are daring at you guys. We wish you guys success come October. Let's take you over to Geneva, where Dr. Fu Richard is on standby. Of course, this beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen, the Garden of Eden Naturopathic Institute for West Africa, Geneva, with headquarters in Boya, is presenting to its viewers this beautiful day bitter tea. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we touch topic 2 of our program, which has got to do with 2025 presidentials. Are opposition candidates doing enough to woo voters? Stay with us as we take you over to Geneva in Boya. When we come back, we are still expecting to get reactions from you. Just to appreciate all those who are sending text messages that just so many. Keep watching Home TV. Stay with us.
President, why do you always like to crucify the CRM?
All right, we are having difficulties at the technical dashboard to give you bitter tea, but of course we shall be coming to it before the end. Madam, back up.
Yeah.
Carol, you are eyeing the presidential seat. The million-dollar question is, most Cameroonians feel that those who want to be presidential candidates spend more time on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and that they are not feeling you people on the ground.
Yeah.
You as a candidate who is eyeing the presidential seat, what are you doing to woo enough candidates to vote for you?
Okay, that's a good question. What I want to tell Cameroonians is there is no way you have everything it takes to know you are in front of a good leader based on his deeds. You just have to, you need to have discernment. What do you want exactly, you Cameroonians? What are you eager to do for your own deliverance? Because when you rely on a politician or a particular leader, he will tell you what you want to hear. But 2025 is not a what you want to hear campaign. It's something you must be ready to demonstrate, okay? It's something you must be able to touch with your hands, okay? As far as I'm concerned, I've been going around. It's not my residence city. I'm from Yaoundé. I'm invited here to present the person I am and the ideology I have to share to the Cameroonians. I am going far places to meet with Cameroonians. I'm going villages where you can go with your car, you have to go on bike, and sometimes you step down from the bike to go on foot, because you need to convince Cameroonians that it's not only on social media you beat the campaign. We'll go to those who do not have light. Today the population that is more exposed to more vulnerable are the population that do not have light. So if you stay on the social media or on TV show like this,
what do you tell people? What do you tell people who believe that you vote or you don't vote, probably I'll still win?
No, I will tell them that this is a concept they have put in your mind to ensure you don't vote, because they will use your vote, or they will use the parent that dies to vote.
Madam,
you have to vote. Please permit me come.
Let me
you have to vote, because if it was already won, President Paul Biya will not present himself in all elections, and they will not go out giving money, rice, cars, and promise you wealth because he has already won. They do that because they expect you to go vote. God is not a fool. God is playing in the ground of human beings. Any law we put in place, God plays in it. So for you to reap, you must sow. for the CPDM or for the president to become a president, he has to come out, okay, and present himself to the people and tell them, vote for me. Because if the people do not vote, there will be no president on seat, okay? So a CPDM is just playing what they call psychological game. They tell you that whatever you do, we are on seat. They have medias for themselves. They have the ministries for themselves. They have the police and the gendarme for themselves. So psychologically, people are ready to say, if we go out, they will arrest us. No, we're not going out. Right. But we are going to battle until we ensure that they step down from that place. Right. And I want to say something. I'm not a prophet or prophetess. Okay. But I want to tell Cameroonian one thing. This year, 2025, if you are ready for change, change is ready for you. Okay. But if you are ready to sit behind your house and begin to condemn people that, oh, I don't like the head of that person, I prefer Pobia because at least we prefer the devil we know than the edge we don't know, you will remain dying of hunger because those guys are ready to win this election by all costs. And all the money they are giving to you is borrowed money. Very soon they will increase kerosene, they will increase fuel, they will increase food because they have to take back the money back into the coffers. So I'm doing my best to make sure I tell Cameroonians, go and vote. Okay. And all the parents you know on the electoral list that have died, they are still there. Denounce it. If you don't have the courage to write them now, their name down, send it to us, and we are going to Elikam to tell Elikam that, is this man dead? Yes. Why is he voting? Because those are the things we need to denounce in this country. And no man can do it alone. We all have to do it and make sure Cameroonians are safe from this system.
All right, let's take you over to Jeniwa. We'll come to you. Take you over to Jeniwa, where he's here. Dr. Richard Fu is giving the views of Home TV this beautiful day, B30. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We shall be right back.
Bitter tea is a super organic product. It is 100% natural, produced from extracts of super medicinal plants that include barks, roots, leaves, and seeds of plants. It has been produced to act as a super detoxifier and electrifier in the human system. So we encourage everybody to go in for bitter tea, because bitter tea is an intracellular and extracellular cleanser in the system. It will cleanse the gut, the entire canals of the system. It will cleanse the blood, detox it, remove morbid and waste from the system. It will clean the lymphatic system, the system where lymph. Then it helps to build the immune system. It removes parasites in the system. It removes harmful bacteria in the system. It removes fungi. It removes worms and so on, which fall under parasites. It helps to energize the system, electrify the system, because it has been produced from special plants that have both natural and supernatural ability in cleansing the system, upgrading the body frequency, giving you power and dominion over diseases.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to say that bitter tea is in all the centers of Genoa, in Boya, in all over Cameroon and out of the country. All you need to do is get in contact with his healer, Dr. Richard Fu, or visit any of the centers of Genoa, and of course you're going to get bitter tea as well as other products that are given by Genoa. Of course we're going to tell tea here. Yeah, we'll give you bitter tea, of course. You get to his healer. His healer will give you bitter tea.
Okay, that's
you need
good.
it. And women's solution too.
Oh,
women's solution. All right, Mr. Mbe Christian. When you look at, you are of the civil society, because Madam was speaking politics, and of course Mukage will come and talk about politics. As someone who is an independent observer, when you look at our opposition leaders in Cameroon, do you think that they are doing enough to sensitize Cameroonians about political education in order to woo more voters come October 2025? Because at the end of the day, they will keep blaming that the CPDM stole the elections, whereas the CPDM is in all the 360 subdivisions of Cameroon, all the 10 regions, but there are certain political parties that limit themselves within certain towns. Do you think that, politically speaking, the opposition political parties are doing their best to woo voters?
Well, Mr. Joel, when I look at the Cameroon policy and the structure of political structure in our country and the climatic condition put in place by and the electoral commission put by Elekam in this country, I'm so doubtful on how the opposition they want to survive.
Okay.
I used to tell opposition leader that in Cameroon, before want to survive, the one thing that I believe that the opposition they need to mobilize themselves and do before thinking of having a credible election in this country. And the first thing that I believe that the opposition should do is that they should come and mobilize themselves as one and then fight the electoral process. It should be transparent. Those who are in charge of Elekam should be independent people, not people who are coming from the majority of the CPD party. Because the child will always there to protect his father, no matter what, even when he knows that what his father is doing is wrong. So we believe that what the opposition should do, they should mobilize themselves, have conferences, seminars, program themselves, bring people from diaspora, sit down with experts, and then see how they can prejudice government. And one time I was talking to one sister TV that they can even come to a point that when government refuses, then take the campaign to the citizens to say that nobody should vote for election, nobody should register. So I let the government find himself that he's not tied between the opposition party and the system, because when nobody goes to register, they'll go and say we have gone and we have won. No, because now people are saying let's go and vote. They are happy because they already have the program. Because if you go to police office or police offices where they are doing ID card, you will discover that the Elekam board is there. When you just make an ID card, I can't remember, they just take it to Elekam to register you. They don't even ask an opinion whether you wanted to vote or whether you have already voted. All those ones are still maneuver and strategies for fraud that the government is putting in place. And must come back to denounce all those structure and make sure that we wait time for election before we go back to put our support that we get into this maneuver, this evil maneuver that the government is putting in place. But in such a way now to make sure that all the eyes of the opposition party, they should put a networking so that anywhere Elekam is doing what they should put people there to monitor what they're doing and to bring it out so they put it in conference and denounce it, and to make even the international community to see the way the government is doing with this issue called politics and election in Cameroon. They will them to understand that people when we sit and talk about politicking, and now this year I don't know, more people are coming out with presidential structure to be a presidential candidate. I believe that there's a need for coalition. Fight for the electoral code to be changed. Look for it, make sure that the people who are there for Elekam, and they are people who are reliable. They respect the code of the law. They are bound with policies and rules that if they broke, it is amount to treason. And if it goes that they catch you as a member of Elekam defrauding in any form, they look as if they put it directly to prison, maybe life imprisonment. If that is done, you will discover that even the people who are in that circle, they would like to do the work that it is right. And still, before I drop me, say the National Assembly need to vote a budget for election in this country. It's not a matter of we just say that election is taking place. I don't know how the budget is coming.
They used to give them money.
That's what I'm saying.
People enter into
that's why I'm saying that as the way they do it is like it behave like the Cameroon government is giving them money. What something that is voted for the ministry that is autonomous. Nobody should play with that money, because the head of that department know how the budget can be run to make sure that election in Cameroon is done with a peaceful and legal way. That
your last words. October is here. What are you telling all the million viewers of Home TV that October is a very decisive year for their future and for Cameroon?
Yes, 2025 is like the year God sent Israel out of Egypt.
Okay.
It was the year God asked them, you will eat bread and bitter leaf. Bitter is to make sure you know how you were delivered from these sufferings, and bread is to show them that you will not get comfortable. To this year, Cameroonians should not eat comfortably. Cameroonians should not live comfortably. Cameroonians should make sure the problem of your brother is your problem. The pain of your brother is your pain, and that you do everything possible to step down from your manual, to step down from your palace, to step down from your comfort, and hold the hands of a Cameroonian that is suffering to make sure tomorrow you are going to eat on the same table. And I want to tell, maybe it's unconstitutional. I want to tell Elekam that all what we need from you is to do your job. You are paid for this job. It's not President Paul Biya that takes money from his pocket to pay you. He pays you from the sweat of Cameroonians. He pays you from our taxes. So if you dare this year, 2025, to streak ballots and to trick again the vote of Cameroonians, people are going to cry, not Cameroonians, again this time.
Semotaga, your last words. I saw you on the field, eh? You were wooing voters for this year. Briefly, because time is not our friend. You don't sit only in the office, you don't work only on social media, but we saw you on the field wooing voters for this year.
Prince Joel, I am one of the practicing Christians who believe that God is not a God that is unjust. He says in his word that he will reward everyone according to his effort.
That's it.
So the CRM political party is that political party that since 2018 has not been relenting. Even though we boycotted the elections, but we knew that there is always a way for us to bounce back, and that is only through the presidential elections.
Okay.
So, Madame Bakob seems to be very intelligent, and everything...
She is, not that she seems to.
I would not want to say it affirmatively,
okay.
But then, like I said...
Time is not our friend. Well done.
Whatever I wanted to say, she has said it all. She has said it all. Cameroonians should understand that this is the decisive year.
Okay.
Our confession will take us to our possession.
Okay.
Let us confess that we can make it, because together we are stronger. Even if there isn't a coalition, because we know exactly how some political parties of the opposition are sponsored to topple and destroy the motion for a coalition. There will be about 9 political, 9 presidential contenders that will be legalized in 2025.
Thank you.
Among 30 million Cameroonians, if they have sent us just 9, I think we are quite intelligent enough to choose whosoever we want.
It's only 9 that will be chosen?
Yes, at least 9.
You have this information from?
That's a revelation. At least a revelation. At least 9 will be chosen. 9 will be chosen, and out of 30 million and above, they can choose 9 persons. Cameroonians are not too dull to pick the best out of 9. So all except the CPDM, that is what we are going for in October 2025.
Dr. Mbe Christian, thank you immensely for taking out time this weekend. You travel all the way from Limbe to come be our guest on this week's edition of Home News Roundup on Home TV, and we wish you a safe trip back to Limbe.
Yes, thank you very much, Michelle, for this roundup. And I just want to tell Cameroonians, especially the Church of Cameroon, I want the church to do me a particular favor. Okay. The favor is that the church will take themselves to fast and pray that any stronghold of satanism in this country that want to manipulate this country, they should come and they should destroy them, and they should bring confusion and destroy any of the evil plan to put Cameroonian in hostage. That is the only reverse I give to the church. The church should not stay. What is happening here one day, it is an iceberg to make the church be confused, but the church is not confused. They should be steadfast in fasting and prayer to make sure that this demonic stronghold for this country be broken and let Cameroon be liberated. I want to thank all Cameroonians and all the youths, and I pray that this year don't allow yourself to be manipulated, but focus that change is what we need, and change will come as our conviction demands from us. Madam
Carol Bakob, thank you immensely for traveling all the way from Yaoundé to come be our guest on this week's edition of Home News Roundup. We look forward to seeing you, and as usual, we wish you the best of luck come October 2025.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you to the Home TV viewers. Thank you for the thief of the house that is doing his best to make sure we always come on stage. We just have to bless you. We love you so much. Don't feel the hardness in our voice. Is that when a woman is in pain, she can only go through cries, okay, or tears, but it's not as if she doesn't love the doctor or the nurses. That's the cry of a woman to my people. So, okay, I'm hard because I love you.
Okay. Special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto 2025 is here. Thank you immensely for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, thank you, Prince Joel. We only pray that God bless the president-elect and give him the opportunity to effectively get the keys of the Unity Palace come October 2025.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate all of you who called on the program, those of you who sent text messages, those of you who watched on all our social media handles. We appreciate you immensely. Once more, on behalf of the entire team on Home TV, I want to apologize sincerely for the technical hitches that we noticed today. I want to appreciate you, Emil Fozon, that was behind the cameras, and of course to you, Ojong Rex, and to you, Destiny, that we are the broadcasting department under the watchful eyes of Lafron Yvette. My name is Prince Mukage. We're thanking all of you immensely for watching this week's edition of the program. This program will be rebroadcast tomorrow, Sunday at exactly 2:30 to 4 p.m. Until we come your way again, don't forget that Cameroon is ours and Cameroon shall forever remain ours. Good evening.